Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
I'm actually warming up. I want to be good.
It's okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
As you can probably tell, I'm not Rabbi Dan, but my name is Aaron Blasban, for those of you who I haven't met. I'm a third-year rabbinical student at Hebrew Union College in New York City, and it's such an honor to be joining this community again, not just sitting in the pews, but also up here on the bima. It's an honor to be here, and we'll get started with the candle blessings on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav letzivanu le'adlik ner להדליק נר של שבת.
We will continue with Yadid Nefesh in the middle of page 128.
ידיד נפש ורחמן, ידיד נפש ורחמן, לשוכבך ארץ צונך, לשוכבך ארץ צונך. ירוץ עבדך כמו היד, ישתחווה אל מועדך.
Lechu Neranana, page 130.
לכו נרננה לאדוני, נעריה לצורישנו, נקנמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נעריה לו,
Page 131.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, פסחו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים גבותו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים, אדוני שמיים עשה, עוד ועדי לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו, ינאי 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 ינאי
We'll continue with Or Zarua on the bottom of page 132.
Or zarua latzadik, uleishre lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, uleishre lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim Adonai, ve'odu lezecher kodsho. Simchu
Adonai, page 134. Romemu is on the bottom of page 135. We will continue with Lachadodi on page 138. We will be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, rising on the 9th verse and facing the entrance to welcome in the Sabbath bride.
שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשמו תפארת יקטנה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו בנחת עם מקור המרחה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך ומיעורי בואי ושלום עטרת פעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה תחדודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה תחדודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה.
You may be seated. Mizmor Shir on the top of page 140.
Shabbat, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך באלוהות עליך סוד בלילה ועלי היגיון בחינוך Shabbat, tov lehodoi l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tzadik hataman yifrach, ke'eret malvanon yiskeh, shetulim beveit Adonai, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובו מצבא דשני מרננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתמו.
Chatzi Kaddish, page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
בעמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי יתברך יתברך וישבח מפאר ודרמה מנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ועלמה ויאמרו אמן.
We now rise for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Mare
Please be seated. And I'll continue with the English on the bottom of page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We will continue with Ve'ahavta on the page of 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Please join me in the reading in English on the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. You'll continue with Mi Chamocha on page 158. Page 160, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu malkeinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu shomreinu lechayim Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukkah shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim Amen.
Vishamru, page 162.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashavat, asot et hashavat כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת מי נפש שבת מי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We have now come to the point of the service, which is the Amidah. We will be doing Adonai Tzvatai together with Cantor Lauren, and then we will be continuing with a silent Amidah. Please rise if you are able.
Adonai sefatay tiftach ufi yagid tilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise ay 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 ay
We'll turn now to page 371 as we offer our Misha Berach this evening. We will begin with those in our community and connected to our community who are in need of healing. Glenn Tinney, Tzipora Ahava, Gidel Bat Shmuel Aviva, Oren Nahum, Bruce Steger, Hannah Ruth Batzara, Jeff Baker, David Tosher, Jim Cohn, Monique Renee Banks Rathbrun, Lindsay Epstein, Dolores Mincha, Sylvia Orn, Yerachmiel Ben Hinda, Paloma Chauhan, Samuel Moskowitz, Chaim Leib, Joyce Weinberg, Rick Gold, Stu Pollock, Jane London, Catherine Garwino, Emuna Chava, Judy Stern, Miriam Cornfield, Roz Brody, Hanarut Batsara, Thekot Zipora Bat Elisheva Batsara, Richard Gambino, Michelle Sawicki, Idol Basha Bat Yitzchak, Tzvi Menachem Ben Chaim, Rivka Bat Devora, Amy and Gavin Tucker, Janice Kurz, David Dowling, Ron Weller, Ben Sion Ben Moshe, Lorraine Danis, Buddy Kossoff, Shelley Newmark, David Kyle Klopman, Rivka Bat Rachel, Sarah Bat Chana, Moshe Eliezer Ben Sivia, Peretz Ben Yehuda, Leah Bat Naomi, Gedalia Ben Leah, Justin Banner, Tzipora Ahava Bat Yehudit Rachel, Jane Bede Koss, Amy Koss, Steve Levine, Ira Madris, Ephraim Raphael Ben Esther, Mira Maislin, and Kate Sherwood. And I welcome those of you who are watching at home to add the names of those who you are thinking of as well. For those that are with us in person tonight, I will start with this side of the room, working my way back, and then I will move to this side of the room, working my way back. If you have names to share, just raise your hands to make sure that we acknowledge it. We'll join together on page 371 in the middle of the page. Ken or Lauren, you can now take a well-deserved break. It's amazing that it's been almost a year since the last time I was up in front of you leading services on a Friday night, and I wasn't even up in front of you, it was on a Zoom screen, and just how far we've come. It's been such an honor to be a part of your community, and I thank you again for letting me be here. Something that many of you may not know about me is that when I was 15 years old, I was stricken with an undiagnosed illness that had me wheelchair-bound for 2.5 years. The me from 10 years ago would not be able to stand here today. not because of my illness that might have prevented me from becoming a rabbinical student or who could give this sermon, but because this stage area that we are using as a bima is not wheelchair accessible. How many synagogues have you entered that are lacking this basic accessibility feature? Even long ago, Rashi, the famous medieval Torah commentator, understood the issues of accessibility to the bima when he wrote, "Geshe'ata boneh chevesh lemizbeach lo ta'aseu ma'alot ma'alot, ele chalak yeh u'meshupah." When you build an ascent to the altar, do not construct it of steps, but make it even and sloping. Accessibility issues for those who are physically disabled persist throughout our Jewish world and in the world beyond. Just this week, Israel's Foreign Minister, Karine El-Harar, was unable to attend the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference activities on Monday because the building in which it was held did not have an accessible entrance. As a relatively recent New York resident, I'm constantly shocked and often remark to Cantor Lauren that had I not been diagnosed and cured, I would not be able to live here. Or if I had kids with physical disabilities, I'd be forced to move because the city is just so inaccessible. These issues of accessibility stem from biases that every single one of us have. I like to believe that these biases are one that we're unaware of, but I would be naive to think that sometimes the inconvenience to oneself is given precedence over justice for others. We see how these biases can affect us to the point where we can take advantage of those who are physically disabled in this week's Torah portion, Toldot. We read, Vaye'ehav Yitzchak et Esav ki tzaid bepiv, ve'Rivka ohevet et Yaakov. Isaac favored Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah favored Jacob. Isaac favored Esau because he was a skilled hunter, a strong man, the firstborn, while Rebekah favored Jacob, who was milder and stayed at camp. Due to the societal biases that gave the power to the father of the children, as well as favored strength over smarts, Esau was in line to receive both the birthright of the firstborn and blessing from his father. However, due to Rebekah's biases, she believed that Jacob should receive the blessing instead of Esau. Isaac grew old and lost his ability to see. Upon hearing that Isaac planned to give his blessing to Esau, she used the opportunity to convince Jacob to trick his own father into giving him the blessing instead. While from the text we see that Jacob and Rebekah have put a lot of thought into this disguise, it is also clear that Isaac is aware that something is not right. Reread, Vayomer Yitzchak el Yaakov geshana v'amushcha b'ni ha'ata ze b'ni Esav? Isaac said to Jacob, "Come closer that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." Vayigash Yaakov el Yitzchak aviv ve'yamushehu vayomer hakol kol Yaakov v'hayadayim yadei Esav. So Jacob drew close to his father Isaac, who felt him and wondered, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, yet the hands are the hands of Esau." It is clear that Isaac was aware that he was being deceived, but was powerless to do anything about it. Rabbi Lauren Tuchman, a rabbi who is blind, explains how she relates to Isaac in this story. This is a feeling all too familiar for many of us who are blind or visually impaired. That playground bully who delights in disguising their voice as a test, only to laugh at us when we get it wrong, feeling like we are set up to fail in a system that structurally disempowers us, despite our best efforts to do all of the right things, the countless ways daily that we are made painfully aware of the inherent vulnerability and disability that living in an ableist society entails. We are taught in Leviticus 19:15, Lo tekalel cheresh velifnei iver lo titain michshol. You shall not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. Rabbi Tuchman's words show us that this commandment is not enough. Obviously, it is wrong to put a stumbling block in front of the blind as Rebecca did, but we must go further. We must check for and acknowledge our biases that have created a system that disempowers those with physical limitations, and then make changes so that everyone has equal opportunities to succeed. An example is accommodations. We get a wonderful example of accommodations later in the Torah. When God approaches Moses at the burning bush and explains all that Moses must do, Moses replies, Lo ish divarim anochi, ki chaved pe uvechad lashon anochi. I've never been a man of many words. I am heavy of speech, and I am heavy of tongue. God could have perceived Moses' limitations as reason to choose someone else to do the work. Instead, knowing that Moses is the best person for the job, God offers Aaron as an accommodation to assist Moses in his task. God shows us a wonderful example of what can be accomplished when we look past others and our own limitations to make a situation work appropriately and fairly, instead of allowing our biases to shut them out. So many times throughout my life, I have seen people looking at accommodating others as a burden on themselves. When I was younger, I had accommodations in school for my ADHD and visual processing deficits. Many teachers were happy to accommodate and supported my success in school, but some felt burdened by them and unjustifiably questioned their necessity. I was fortunate to have my mom advocating for me to make sure my accommodations were met. One of my favorite stories about this is a conversation my mom had with a special education coordinator at my middle school. One of my accommodations was that I couldn't fill in Scantron tests due to my visual processing difficulties. But that meant the teacher had to fill them in, which was a lot of extra work for her. The coordinator tried to argue that I should start filling in my own Scantrons because that was a skill I would need to develop for my career. My mom replied, the only job in the world where he would need to know how to fill in a Scantron is yours. I think he should keep his legally required accommodations. Who knows what would have happened if Moses didn't have God, or if I didn't have Denise Blasband. These are just some of the examples of how our biases can affect accessibility to our congregations, our communities, and our society. Not everyone in the world is so lucky as to have someone to advocate for them, to just help them to have equal opportunities to succeed. It is on us to try to create a society where people would not need others to advocate on their behalf, or would not have to advocate for themselves to have a fair and equal chance at living their full and best life. I believe there are 3 steps to this process. 1, be introspective about what our biases are. 2, figure out how to include everyone. And 3, appreciate everyone for who they are and what they can be. To a person in a wheelchair trying to get to the bima, it doesn't matter whether the bias is intentional or if we are unaware of them. They still can't get here. That is why it is imperative that we act so that we can have a bima to our synagogue, our community, and our society that is halak meshupah, even and sloping, so that all can have equal access. Shabbat Shalom. Amazing. For those who couldn't hear that at home, we're going to, in the new synagogue renovations that are coming soon, there will be an elevator, which is great that it's accessible, but Neil will also look into whether the bima is accessible or not, which is amazing. Thank you, Neil. We will thank you, Cantor Lauren, for coming back up. She knows what to do. We will continue on with page 586, Aleinu. Please rise if you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
I now invite those who are in mourning and those who are observing yard site to remain standing. Everyone else may be seated. We first think of those in our community who have passed in recent months. Sylvia Alderman, Morris Dickstein, Fred Eber, Sandra Furman, Evelyn Gelb, Arthur Grossman, Elaine Grossman, Gerald Hirsch, Deidre Sherrick Klein, Jeanette Kopp, William J. Littman, Audrey Lubo, Morty Lynn, Gary Monroe, Harry Olstein, Danielle Lisa Rigg, Geraldine Rosen, Harriet Roth, Jeanne Rubin, Howard Schreerer, Dorothy Shupnick, Paul Silver, Marlise Silverberg, Blanche Sklar, Rita Sandra Snyder, Joan Strong Tangzilius, Virginia Tizer. We also mark the yard sites that have occurred during the last week. Rose Edelberg, Irving Bass, Caroline Brevitz, Jules Danto, Richard Emanuel, Leonard Fichtelberg, Fenimore Fisher, Nelson Friedman, Marilyn S. Glass, Julius Goldfarb, Philip Haber, Morris Halpern, Dorothy Hipsch, Ellie Kelman, Edith Lobel, Sandra Matloff, Anita Mello, Marion Raff, Irving H. Rice, Sheila Rudansky, Albert B. Sackner, Herman Schussman, Maurice Sklar, Irving Stebbins, Ruth Laufer Stein, Estelle Steinberg, Irene Schwartz-Treisman, Joseph Weiner. If there's anyone who's saying Kaddish for someone else that I didn't mention, I invite you to share their name now. We will join together with the mourners on page 598 as I invite those who are willing and able to rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirotiv ve'emlich malchuteh. B'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye de kol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'izman kari v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei de kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. Zichronam levacha, may their memories be for a blessing.
Amen.
Announcements. Shabbat morning service will be live streamed tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Join us on our website, YouTube channel, or Facebook page. Archived versions will be available for viewing shortly after each service ends. Then join us for Torah study on Zoom at 12 p.m. using a woman's commentary facilitated by Rabbi Dr. Rebecca Joseph. This Sunday, the Social Justice Committee is sponsoring an apple picking event at Seven Ponds Orchard in Watermill for the food pantry. Please RSVP to Alyssa, Andy, or Shelley and plan to meet at 11 a.m. On Monday, Nida Mitzvah meets at 11:30 a.m., Hebrew School is at 3:30 p.m., and the Social Justice Committee meets at 5 p.m. On Tuesday, the new Anti-Semitism Committee will have its first meeting. Please contact Shelley Lickstein at gmail.com for the Zoom link. Rabbi Dan's class on Abraham, Joshua, Heschel, and the Prophets is on Wednesday at 12 p.m., and Hebrew School meets that day at 3:30 p.m. This Thursday at 7 p.m., join in on a free Zoom talk on Georgia O'Keeffe, Mindfulness Through Art. It will be presented by member and art professor Ronell Wolf and hosted by our Arts Committee Chair, Ann Schwatzky. There will also be an art project, so please bring any art-making materials you would like to work with: scissors, 1 sheet of ordinary printer paper, and 1 flower, real or not. Rabbi Dan's class on A Journey to the Heart of the Siddur is on Friday at 9:15 a.m., and at 4 p.m. there's our weekly Shabbat fun for kids under age 5 at Old Whalers. It was so fun and beautiful to see. Hanukkah is early this year. The first night of Hanukkah is Sunday, November 28th. We hope you will join us at our Hanukkah lighting on the wharf with hot chocolate and jelly donuts, of course, and some fun Hanukkah-related programming, including a Hanukkah film festival. Look for details on these and all programs and events in our weekly e-blasts and our website calendar. If you're not getting our emails, please let the temple office know. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We will now finish with a closing song, right, Glenn?
Yeah, so we're going to continue with the song that we ended our silent Amidah with, but now we're just going to do the English words. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you. Oh, my rock and my redeemer.
We'll now have the Festival Kiddush, and it's on page 386. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha.
I think we're on...
I'm on the wrong page.
Yeah, so go to page 123, and we'll just try again.
Sorry.
123. That's okay. We'll all sing along with you.
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher Kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit Ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta Mikol hamim Ve'shabbat kodshecha Be'ahava u'ratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat
Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Fun fact, it's a blast band family tradition to always freeze on the Kiddush. I did it at my bar mitzvah, and we do it every single time.
Want to play us out?